Hi there, it's Rich with Rich Baum Photography, Sacramento, California. And today I thought it would be great. Let's talk about heads, tripod heads. What do we want? You know, there's a lot of questions out there, especially people that are getting into this. And what do you need? What do you want? What should I go for? Now, I want to say, and we'll also talk a little bit about tripods in here, because these are big decisions, in my opinion. And I think people need to, especially the people that are getting into this, into using a tripod and a head. I don't really want to spend a lot of money. And when you learn about the expense of these upper end heads and tripods, it is a lot of money, and I will concede to that. So I'm going to try and help you here. I think the most important thing is to get the best thing you can afford. And something that most photographers that have been in this for a while and really get into tripods and heads for their even their landscape photography or their wildlife or real estate photography, they've realized after experience that you get what you pay for. And the most important thing to think about is a lot of photographers will start off with a cheap $50 tripod from Best Buy or Amazon, and then quickly within a few months they'll find out it's not the right tool for the job, and then they'll get something in the $150 range, and then they'll probably end up getting something in the $300 to $400 range. And this is really a common jump I find. But I think if you look at it as this long run, go buy something really good to begin with. And tripods and heads, unlike cameras and other lighting gear and things like that, tripods and heads will probably be around. This head here, all these heads will be around for probably the rest of my life, and not much more is going to be coming out, or at least not nearly as much as new camera models, lenses, and lights that come out every 6 months to a year, or drones that every 8 months our drone is obsolete. Good tripods and heads don't become obsolete. They just stand up to the test of time. So I'm going to start off with my center choice right here. This is my day-to-day real estate tripod and head. And I'll start off with the tripod. Is a tripod that I've been using since the 1980s. It is the Manfrotto, or actually Manfrotto used to be called Bogan, or this model was a Bogan, and it's the 3046. You can still find them on eBay and Craigslist, and they range anywhere from, you can still find these in great condition. I bought both of these. This was $79. This tripod, and this one was probably $90 plus shipping, and they were both under $100 after shipping and came in perfect condition. And some of the reasons I like these tripods are, for one, they're heavy and they're stable, and that's what's important to me. They also have a feature here called a geared center column, so I can raise and lower my camera with precision. Now, you can't do that with a lot of, now this tripod I use for landscape photography. I don't even have a center column on it, so it's not even in the ballpark here. This one, we're really only talking about it for the head, which is a ball head. But geared center column is great to me. This also will go up to 7 feet tall, no, 6.5 feet tall. It's super stable and super sturdy, inexpensive, and reliable. So these are my choice. They're both 3046s. These are identical tripods I found separately at different times on eBay. Found one yesterday on my local Craigslist for $20, and I cleaned it up and gave it a little oil and grease, and it's perfect, but I left it at home today. Okay, so the thing I really want to talk about here is the heads. We have two geared heads and a ball head. Most people are familiar with ball heads. A ball head is basically a head that, let me move this over here. Ball head is just a head that you can loosen up and adjust your camera on a ball. It's literally a ball embedded in a device. Has different knobs on it, and these will range anywhere from probably $20. You can find probably a ball head on Amazon for $20 and go up from there. This happens to be the Really Right Stuff BH55. It's their top of the line. Really Right Stuff, by the way, is a great company, and I'm not affiliated with them, but I've been using their heads, their clamps, and now their tripods for many years, and I really, really like their stuff. This just happens to be the biggest and baddest of them all, the BH55. Little overkill for what we need, but it's great if you want to get one head to last you forever. But a ball head is great for landscape because we're not dealing with the precision that we need with real estate photography. Real estate photography or architectural or design photography, anything like that, we need to have minute adjustments. So whereas this ball head will move and get you in the ballpark, I can even adjust the tension on it. Works great, but it's not what I want because it may take me an extra 2, 3, 5, 10, 15 seconds to line up a perfect vertical shot, would have my vertical straight, the perfect composition, because there's no precision in this. I wouldn't call it precision. There's nothing in here that will really help us for what we want here. So I'm going to just put this ball head over here, and I'm going to try and persuade all of you out there that are hearing about and considering a geared head. And I'm going to actually move this out of the way. I'm going to put this over here and bring over my other geared head. Now, a geared head has knobs. These have 3 knobs. One is for the up and down motion, like here. Let me turn this around for you. Sorry. One is for the up and down motion, and it's a little slow to move, but it's extremely precise. And once you set your where you want this head to be, it is not going to move and it is not going to change at all. It is not going to have what I call tripod sag or lens sag. When on a ball head, if you put a long lens or a lens on it, you set it, you let go of it, it may sag a little bit. This is precision. This is precision. So that's why we use geared heads. Now, you may look at it as taking a little longer to set up because you have to do all these little motions, and here with the ball head over here, it is so much faster and easier to move. That's okay, you don't really need to do that. And these also have another feature. They have, this one is the Manfrotto 405 geared head. And I can turn the big knob here, the inside knob, and I can move it bigger movements like that. And I can move the same thing with the side. I can move it really quickly, and then I can just let go of it and move it the other knob. I can get precision movement. So I can do really quick, hold on, let me get it here, really quick, or just precision. And that's great. Now this is the Arcaswiss D4. And I will say, these are not cheap. I'll talk about some cheaper versions of it, but I don't happen to have any now. And I've had them all. But it was one of those things. After a while, I ended up getting the better one and the better one. So I paid 3 times for what I could have bought once. But we all learned that, so it's okay. But this one retails for just under $500. $500. Ooh, $500, you're thinking, can't spend that. Well, you know what? I look at it this way. I spent so much time moving my dials and knobs on my heads and my tripods. I want to make sure everything is precision, everything's fast and easy, and everything brings more enjoyment into my life. And a geared head, I will say, honestly, makes my life better because I enjoy it, and it actually is faster for me to use now, and it is the tool that I want. So we have the 405, which has the knobs. Now, one negative about the 405, it is really big and it is very heavy. It's about 4 or 5 pounds. So I will say, for certain types of photography, it's not appropriate, but for real estate, I think 4 pounds is fine for a geared head. It's much better than the lower model, which is the 410. Now I wish I had a 410 to show you. It's just smaller. They call it the Junior. And the 410 is great, but there are issues with them loosening up, getting sloppy, which, you know, if you have a precision head and it gets sloppy, you've completely taken away from what you want it for. So the 405 though was my next step up from the 410. Funny how the 410 is lower than the 405. I would think the 405 would be lower than the 410. But anyway, so I've got this 405 and it was a great tripod, a great head. But then I went to the Arcaswiss and I am thrilled with the Arcaswiss. This to me, it's a long story, but if you went to go buy this with an Arcaswiss clamp on it, it would be about $1,100. I found this used, the base, I found it used for $700 at Adorama, and then I bought the clamp here. I bought this clamp, Really Right Stuff clamp, and I had it installed at Precision Camera Works. Now, one thing everybody has to know is on this Arcaswiss D4, you cannot just unscrew the clamp that comes with it. They glue it. I don't know why they do it, but I can only assume it's because of warranty issues. They don't want people to void the warranty. Well, you have to send it to another company, but the company is great, Precision Camera Works, back east in the United States, and they will replace your clamp. I actually just had them put on a Really Right Stuff lever clamp, and as you can see, I really like the Really Right Stuff lever clamp. It's my choice of clamp, and it's just the best clamp made, and it's super easy to use, and it's much better in my opinion than the Arcaswiss clamp or any other clamp. But it's about $110, so it's not super expensive, and it's super great. So I really recommend getting that clamp. Okay, so let's get back to the Arcaswiss. The Arcaswiss is really, it is your finest thing you're gonna get, and it is really nice. They make another clamp which is a little higher up called the Cube, but personally I chose to go with this because it's a little more friendly, smaller, friendly for my day-to-day work, and it's not as open, so stuff can get into grease, grime, and stuff can get into the Cube. But I like the D4. And it is wonderful. Another thing too, it has, you can do minute adjustments with these round knobs here, or you can undo this side, this one and this one on the sides, and you can use it like a ball head. Let me just tighten down the pan. Use it like a ball head so it moves. You can get a rough idea where you want to be. Tighten these down, these full moving knobs, and then do your precision. So it really is super nice, and I just love it. And with this clamp, it is just the perfect combo for me. And the other thing with the clamp too is I want you to look at that bubble level is something I tell I don't have one on this one, but I have it on this clamp. The bubble level is the best thing you can get to help you get your vertical straight, because I can use this bubble level so fast. If I'm up against a corner, I can go over the front of my camera and look at the bubble level and see that it's perfectly level, and it's right on every time. So I really value this lever clamp. And this is called the lever clamp because it has a lever instead of a screw. And I like the lever because it just tightens it one time and it stays tight. And the other thing too is people would say, and I thought that this lever there's no adjusting on this lever. And I thought after a year or two it would become loose. Never has become loose and works great every time. So I love the lever clamp on all of my heads. Okay, so let's get down to the price of this is going to be $1,100. The price of this is going to be about $500. Plus the clamp. The clamps don't come with, the Arcaswiss will come with a clamp, Arcaswiss clamp for about $1,100–$1,200. This doesn't come with a really good clamp. It came with the Manfrotto clamp, and I don't like it. But one thing I did was I added a Hejnar. I'll put the information in the show notes. Chris Hejnar builds these little conversion plates for these Manfrotto heads. So I really recommend it. It makes it much nicer, much more streamlined, and there's actually a bubble level on the plate now up there, so it's really great. So that's an improvement that I would definitely do. And this Really Right Stuff clamp, BH55, runs just under 500 bucks. And for me, as far as ball heads, this is the finest ball head made, in my opinion. It's one of the most expensive too, but it's just a great piece of work. But I'm going to use this for landscape photography and not for real estate, because trust me and trust all the other people that talk about why we need a geared head. It's because of precision. So I can precisely adjust my height. I can precisely adjust my angle. It's fast, it's easy. This head, after a while, the 405, your fingers get a little tired on it. That's another thing with the 410, is the 410 really gets your fingers tired because it's even more work to move. This D4 is just a pleasure to use. Now, one thing, this has a 3-way gear. This will gear this way over here, and the pan, it will gear for the pan. The D4 does not have a geared pan. You just loosen up this knob and move it. But I found it to actually be more enjoyable for me because the geared pan takes a little longer to set up, and I'm not as critical on my pan as I am on my vertical and my horizontals. So that to me is okay. I will say also that Arcaswiss has come out in Europe with a head like the clamp up here, or this top part, that has a geared movement in it. But I haven't seen it in the United States, and it is not available yet, but I'm finding out about that. So I just want to say, you get what you put into it. This tripod, I'm going to just show you though. This is a great tripod because, whoops, my microphone is only so long. So it goes really, really high up, and I'm not going to extend it all the way, but it is really high for me. It goes up to this high. So it is great if I am using it for landscape or something else. But I find that for my normal work, let me put this over here. Whoops. That's one thing I don't like about these tripods, or they've got 3 independent legs, so you gotta adjust everything independently. Okay, here we go. Okay, I really enjoy this the 3046, because I can get the leg out so fast, and it's really nice, and it goes very high. It goes over 6 feet, and these work just great to me. And anybody that has these, you can do one thing: you can mark the legs so you know exactly where to pull them out to every time you go shooting. So it's really fast and easy. And also, everybody, start putting your name on your gear with a P-Touch machine. They're found in Staples stores and stationery stores. The P-Touch machine has these labelers, and they're super nice. They look really professional, and it really is nice to have all your name on all your gear. I have it on all my gear, Rich Baum Photography, so I think it's really important. So I'm going to leave you with, you get what you pay for. And in a tripod and a head, the good thing is, it's not like a drone, it's not like a camera, it's not going to get outdated. It might get outdated in 10 or 15 years, but again, my tripod of choice, I could choose any tripod. This tripod, by the way, a Really Right Stuff tripod, is about new. This is about $1,200 just for the sticks, the legs, okay? This head is $500 and $480, so it ain't cheap. I got this on Craigslist, a great deal, but I won't go into that now. So I'm just saying, you're going to spend a lot of money, but you know what? You'll have it. I'll have these tripods for the rest of my life. I only have a backup because if mine gets stolen, I don't think it will ever break. And these are actually totally from the 80s, 1980s. So these are old, and they just sit around people's garages and closets, and then they get rid of them on Craigslist. Or this one was from a school district, and they had like 20 of them. I just bought one of them, so I should have probably bought a few of them. But you go get yourself a good tripod. There's some really good tripods by Benro. Suray makes great tripods, and really, to get a nice tripod, you're gonna have to spend about $400 or $500, and you know that's a hard bullet for people to take because we want new cameras, new lenses, new lights. But to me, a tripod and a head and a clamp is as important as my camera, my lens, anything I've got. So Rich Baum Photography saying go get yourself a really good tripod. Leave some comments, ask some questions. If you have any questions about what tripod is good for me, post it in my on the YouTube channel. You know, there's a lot of opinions too. And my opinion is just my opinion, so that's all I'm going to say. But I'm super happy with what I have in my gear, and I made that a conscientious choice. So I say that you know, there are workarounds if you don't have the cash, but whatever you can do, try and get the best thing you can buy for what you need. Okay, I want to say please subscribe to this YouTube channel. It means a lot to me and really helps. I want you to use the Adorama link if you're going to shop for new gear. Use my Adorama link. Helps me make these free videos. Remember, ShootingSpacesPodcast.com is a real estate photography podcast dealing with real estate photography and everything surrounding it. And Brian Berkowitz and I have podcasts. We release a new one every Tuesday. So that's ShootingSpacesPodcast.com. And last but not least, this is all my opinion, and go out and shoot better, shoot smarter, make more money, and go have fun, get new equipment, go buy yourself a nice head or a tripod, and go spend time with your family and enjoy life. So see you later on the next video. I appreciate you coming. Bye.